This is chilling. Uganda, this is what I call home and the pearl of Africa.
Canada enjoys a very cordial diplomatic relation.
A land that is covered in ancient history that has helped to shape its future. A place where selfie moments are captured that last an entire lifetime. A land with the most tastiest unique coffee bean that can't be found anywhere else in the world. A land with the longest and calmest river that is so accommodating.
We are so determined by 2028 we must be having almost 20,000 tourists coming in this country every year.
I must say that what experience, what love from the Uganda we received, honestly speaking, it is amazing.
This experience has been fantastic.
Taken to a tree called Ndazavazate. No man knows the age of that tree.
A home to 54% of the world's mountain gorillas and chimps that just love to chill and dance, not to start a civil war.
There is ultimately serious calm here among the animals, the chimpanzees. There's no civil war. They are very calm and they're here. They have made all sorts of noise for us here.
With the help from the Uganda High Commission in Ottawa, I show you the Uganda that we love and adore this week on Chilling.
He is regarded as a dedicated public servant whose career has reflected on so many lives. You know, he's strongly committed to diplomacy, national representation, and also global engagement. Of course, of recent, he has been recognized by the Reputation Poll International. What is that all about? We're going to find out more. It is a firm that specializes in ranking the integrity and influence of individuals, organizations, and brands. Now, through his endeavors as the ambassador, he has come up with a brilliant plan of an idea of doing a farm trip. This farm trip is expected to strengthen Uganda's destination brand, you know, to Canadians and across North America, while encouraging the development of new tourism products tailored to international markets. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, allow me to introduce to you the hottest ticket in Kampala right now, Ambassador ALLAN KAJIK. How about that for an intro?
Good to see you. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah? I struggled a little bit, but I went there. I really went there. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
First of all, tell me about this reputation poll and this recognition. What does it mean to you?
First of all, it was humbling.
Yes.
When the Canadian Ugandans in Canada decided to nominate me
Yes.
as one of the people to get the award, I was taken back and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yes.
Because all the efforts that I put across, I thought it was just to, straight to my diplomacy and just maintaining my work. I was shocked that...
They said they recognize you for the incredible work you're doing, you know, in terms of your diplomacy. And that is amazing. I mentioned this before the cameras rolled, that it's a coveted kind of list. A few Ugandans get on that list.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on this list with brilliant Kenyans and the rest of Africans.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. But you see, Ugandan diaspora are unique. That we are so divided along party lines, tribal lines. And one of the things I understood most is that if we are to lead these people effectively, then we must bridge in and bring unity among these people.
Nice.
I have endeavored to have meetings with all the leaders, whether it's cultural institution that is set within the Canadian territory, or those who are along the party line, whether it being NUP, whether it being NRM, whether it being any other party, DP. I have endeavored to meet them and telling them one thing: we are all Ugandans.
Yes.
And that is the passion that I have for this for my Canadians.
With the United Front, Ambassador, you can reach as far as you can go. There's this common African saying that says that when you want to go far, you have to move in a group.
Yes.
But when you really want to go nearer or cut your distance short, you go alone.
Oh, yes.
So, Ambassador, this was also one of the shockers that I learned about you. You are a West Niler.
Oh,
And
yes.
found one. So I found out about that through a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, Dr. Jimmy Opigo.
Oh,
He
boy.
told me that
Oh,
that
boy.
man is
Yes.
from West Nile. Which part are you
yes.
from?
I come from Nebi. I'm an Alur by tribe,
Oh,
and I come
wow.
from Nebi.
Wow.
And I grew up from Nebi. Then I eventually came to Kampala to do my studies.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And you've lived in the
And
center
by the
all
way, I
your life?
was the RCC for Kampala.
Oh.
So I have learned a bit of whatever takes place in the center as well. Because I served them as for I think a couple of years, 4 or something years.
Mm.
Yeah.
So also Honorable Nyamutoro is your compatriot. She comes from the same area.
Yes,
Does she?
the Honorable Nyamutoro. These are the young people that we handed over the leadership of the district to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are
So-
still young as well.
Oh yeah.
So Honorable,
I
of
know,
recent I've been running several episodes that are trying to market the region, West Nile. You know, it's opening up beautifully. We are telling stories, we are telling the government and, you know, private sector that you can invest in this place. It's so peaceful. The mobility, the roads are brand new. It's just something that people should open eyes to, that part of the region, because it has gone through a turmoil for so long.
Yes.
But now all that is in the past.
But
And
also,
it's so fresh and so untapped.
Yes.
What have you got to say about that?
And you know, I appreciate your point of view. And one of the things that we have been telling our people, especially West Nilers first, we have been telling them, you ought to go back home and develop your own region. Don't expect others to come and develop it when you don't want to invest in your own country, in your own region. Once you have put in an investment, then you are in position to convince a friend to get to that. And that forms the basis of us putting up an hotel, both in Koboko, Arua, and one is coming up in Nebi, and one in Pakwach. And those are, there might be small cottages here and there, but it is to instill confidence in the investors. Whoever we now are taking there to go and invest in hotel will cite our own examples, say, here we are, we have our own projects that are running here.
Yeah.
And therefore, when you put in something, just know that you'll reap out of it.
Ambassador, now here's the thing. Most of the people have complained that there is really little that can be explored in West Nile. Please, I want you to demystify this in front of the whole nation. It's watching you. Because me, I was challenged. Hands on. I went to, I got encounter with mountains. I went to Mount Oche. That was just a single mountain of many.
Yes.
There is this Nile you see right behind us.
Yes.
Stretches up to that side. You know, turns into Albert Nile. There's also much water activity that can be done that side. I mean, there is that. Now there's
also a game reserve.
Ajay, yes, Ajay Game Reserve, where they have brought back the white.
The only game park that has rhinos.
Yes, the white
And
rhinos.
Rhinos are among the big 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
And man, it's
So it's just a myth. West Nile has got a lot to offer. First of all, if you want to do religious tourism, West Nile in Goli has the smallest church, where you only be 2 or 3 of you with the priests. The smallest church in a place called Biko.
Honorable. A couple of weeks ago, okay, you could say last week, you dragged in a couple of delegates from Ottawa, and that's a big part of Canada. And they came here for one mission, and that's one mission only, to explore the potential of the Ugandan tourism, and also perhaps, you know, to create a bond in terms of, you know, economically, socially. And I want to really find out, as the ambassador, what was your real aim? What did you want to achieve with this mission?
When I was appointed to Canada, the first thing that I insisted on was to first of all understand the market. What is it that we can get from Canada and bring to Uganda? Because that is the standard yardstick that I had to use. One, I saw there is a potential in tourism. Of course, leave aside the rest of the products that we export from here to Canada. But the Canadians have 4 seasons. They have the fall, they have the summer, they have the spring, and they have the winter. And winter is super cold. It is extremely cold.
Yeah, I know.
Now, these guys decide to go outside their country in order to spend time in comfort. And I was looking at this amazing opportunity that the winter brings for Uganda. Because if it is cold there and they're running away from the snow, they prefer going to other countries, then Uganda should be the destination. And I looked at the statistics. I looked at how many Canadians go to USA. I looked at how many of them go to Mexico. And I looked at how many of them come to East Africa for game drive, for, you know, also bird watching. Bird watching is one activity that Canadians love. Because what happens is during winter, all the birds get migrate to Africa, Mexico, and the rest of the world. Even these butterflies, all of them get out. So that means that Uganda, that has this conducive atmosphere, year in, year out, has the potential. And that is where we started. And we agreed on principle that we must promote as much as possible tourism in order to drag in the numbers. Because by 2023, when I was appointed as the deputy head of mission, 2023 we had 3,900 persons coming from Canada to Uganda for tourism. Last year, 2025, we had 9,688. Now, that is the path we have taken, that we must deliberately push in the numbers by selling Uganda to these people. And you know, the delegates we selected here, they're not only from Ottawa. Ottawa is just a small city where we are, the capital. But we have people from British Columbia, we have people from Toronto, and we have one from Alberta. And those are big provinces. Toronto is the business center. Everybody wants to, you know, in Toronto, everybody is making money. But the serious spenders are actually from British Columbia. Those ones, you can be sure that the number of tourists that will come from British Columbia will even surpass the one in Toronto. But all in all, what we are trying to do is to try to promote Uganda as a destination, #1, for all these tourists that are coming from. Because when you look, we went for a game drive in Queens. In 1 hour, they had seen the 4 biggest animals they talk about out of the 5.
There are 7 now. We have the chimpanzees and
I'm still telling you the top 5.
Yeah, the top 5, yes. The big 5.
On record time,
yes,
they saw all the big 4.
Yeah.
Except the rhino that I told you is in West Nile.
Yeah.
Next time I'm going to plan and take them to West Nile.
Yeah.
But I want to assure you that these guys were mesmerized when they looked at these animals. Some of them, interestingly, when we went to Mwea for our evening, that's where we slept. And the lions, 4 of them, came around and they were walking majestically in the compound. And these guys were amazed.
Wow.
Now, somebody who is already amazed with nature to that level, just know that he's going to do his best to attract them.
Well, Ambassador, we are going to go in for a break and then we're going to still carry on with this conversation because I still want to dig the knife a bit further to understand what are we going to gain from this as a nation and what are they going to carry and take back home? Yes. Are they even going to drag in more traffic? Yes. All right, this is Chilling and today I'm with a great man. I told you he's the hottest ticket in town. This man appears on lists that you can't even think of. But yeah, we are in Ginger, if you're thinking of the location right now, and you're going to get some nice drone shots by my brother Omar Jr., who's going to show you how fancy this experience is. So the biggest part of us of the delegates has gone for a short trip, I think a boat cruise to that short island there. The drone will show you, and they're going to carry out some activities like tubing and all that. So we're going to go in for a break, and then also when the show is done, I'm going to take off my shirt and I take a dip into the water.
Oh yes, we shall all dive in.
We shall all dive in, yeah, like the big man says. All right, see you shortly with another part.
Thank you for joining us here. We are in Uganda at Kibale National Park, the primate capital of the chimpanzee and other species.
There is ultimately serious calm here among the animals, the chimpanzees. There's no civil war. They are very calm and they're here. They have made all sorts of noise for us here, and we want to thank the UA team for allowing us to be here. Thank you very much.
Uganda has increasingly gained her global position among the top 10 best tourism destinations in global tourism rankings. A nation rich in natural beauty and cultural heritage, with significant potential to attract high-value tourists. That is why the Uganda High Commission of OTTAWA came up with a brilliant idea of a farm trip for a delegation from Canada to enjoy first-hand full range of what the nation has to offer. Ambassador ALLAN is fighting so hard to make sure that Canadian travelers and tour operators expand their Ugandan portfolios.
Yes.
And this is your mission.
Yes.
This is your mission.
And we are so determined.
Yeah.
We are so determined. By 2028, we must be having almost 20,000 tourists coming in this country every year.
Okay, so let's get to the selection of these delegates.
Yeah.
How were you picky? Why did we have only 14? Why not more? How did you select the people that are chosen to come and see these? Because amongst them, I saw there are some tour operators, there is also some media people.
Yes.
So you were strategic when you're choosing this number.
Yes.
Tell me more.
First of all, before we got into choosing these people, we called for a roundtable tour discussion with the tour operators, writers, and influencers. Now, this category of people we wanted to bring to Uganda for many reasons. One, once somebody puts an article in the newspaper, it is read wide and far.
You know, Wakesa can testify on that.
Exactly.
Yeah, he can tell you that articles go way far.
Articles will always fly. And that was one yardstick for us. The second one was influencers. You know, one of these gentlemen posted just one. Do you know how many viewers he had? He had over 1 million viewers. Now, somebody who has the followers that are 1 million plus is somebody you cannot ignore. The second point, the third category, are tour operators. Tour operators, you know, when you go into booking, these people, the Canadians, book their tours through tour operators. Now, once you drop into their office, they can influence your mind. Okay? These people have capacity to influence minds of those who are looking for this tour destination.
Change your mind there and then.
Exactly.
They'll be like, hey, don't go to Mexico, come to Uganda. I'll tell you about this beautiful part of Africa.
That's what
it has
I'm
this and that
about.
and that. Oh, yeah. No, I get.
One of them looked at the equator and said, wow, I am on the equator. She could not believe it.
Yeah.
And therefore, such a person, when he goes back to Canada, the first thing he's going to say to those guys is that, hey, why don't you visit this area that has an equator? And I've always said it that Uganda is the only country that has both the equator and it has snow on top of Mount Resori. There is no any other country in the world that has snow and equator at the same time. It doesn't. It's not there.
It's not.
And therefore, Uganda stands out. Now, when we selected this group of, when we had this round table and we eventually selected the 14, we selected people who have following, who are having big sales, and we were like, okay, these are the category of people we need to take to Uganda. Because when a tour operator has sales that are more than 3,000 to 5,000 in a quarter, that is a big company. And if we can only get a quarter of what they're selling and we switch to Uganda,
Good enough.
that will be good for us.
And numbers don't
as a
lie.
country. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, so Ambassador, are you sure they're going to go back home and tell the good gospel, the good kind? Because you've been with these people every step of the way, in the parks, out of the parks, at the equator, around, you know, the Kampala metropolitan. You've been now, you're at the Nile with them. This is they're going to take back great information.
By the time a Canadian tells you this cannot be replicated in Canada, you know they're impressed. And there are no chimpanzees in Canada. There are no gorillas in Canada. And this is a unique opportunity. Now, we are going to sell nature here. We are telling them that, please, if you want to see gorilla, Uganda is the best destination that you can go and see. And these people are willing. They're interested. Why the other gentleman was live streaming on his live streaming on his social media was basically because he wanted to alert his followers that, hey, Uganda is the destination. And if you have been keen, every time that we are even driving around Kampala, his phone is out. He's having a live stream.
Yeah.
And that is what we want for our market.
This younger generation, they call themselves the Gen Zs. They had one phenomenon streamer called I Show Speed.
Yes.
I Show Speed, you've heard about the story.
Yes, I've heard. Yeah.
He is the greatest American that has ever toured Africa. This man opened eyes for the rest of the world. Europeans, Americans, they couldn't believe what they just saw.
Yes.
And in a funny, joking way, he told stories. He ate local food. He did, and that's the kind of PR nowadays.
Exactly.
Social media marketing influencing goes a long way, Ambassador. Nowadays,
yes. Muhammad was yesterday for an evening out in Kampala.
He's the one with the beard.
Yes,
right?
to see Kampala in the night.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You ought to see his videos.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And every person that has watched it say, where is this destination? And he's saying, this is Kampala.
So Canada has been key market, you know, for Uganda in so many ways, in luring in these big tourists, high-level tourists that have come to spend, you know, and we make sure that they come here not only to see and get wowed, but to also spend.
Yes.
But there's been a debate, right? And this debate was sparked on X. And I think Wakesa wanted to defend a part of this conversation. There was a saying that Uganda actually doesn't have, could you say, world-class facilities where they can spend enough? Because one of the tourists came in this country, and they came with, let's say, 20,000 USDs, and they couldn't even spend they couldn't even spend half of it. And that was a debate on X. It got really Wakesa agitated because he's trying so much, you know. This is a man that is investing into hospitality business. And so what can change? What can we do?
Attitude.
Like car hiring, world-class standard hotels. I mean, we still have a lot we can do.
But you have seen now Marriott.
Town,
right?
Oh my God!
Hilton is in town.
Yeah.
And please just go and visit Silverback, the other side in Buindi.
Yeah.
Then you will know what Uganda is made of. You see, some of these people are arguing from their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Somebody is chilling in Kamocha and is busy also responding to tweets. Visit the countryside.
Yeah.
You will know what it means. Ugandans have heavily invested into the tourism sector. The examples I've given you, Marriott is here, Sheraton is here, we have a Hilton coming up. These investments will ensure that all our tourists that are coming here are comfortable. When we went to Silverback, none of these guys wanted to leave. Why? It's because of the serenity. When they looked out, they looked at the rooms they're sleeping in, none of them wanted to leave. Because some of those facilities are not even there in Canada. I have been in Canada for the last 5 years. I have not seen such a superb quality service being offered. But also, as Ugandans, instead of complaining, we should be engaging into promotion. If you think that Uganda does not have enough to offer, why don't you try also to offer something? Don't only be on tweeting. Try to organize something. I'm impressed with the ladies who sell crafts. Even this cape I bought it from one of the ladies at the source of the Nile here. These are people who are putting in their thoughts to action. But you can't just be tweeting and assuring people that everything is not well with Uganda when you're doing nothing. So please, I always encourage people that let's move forward and invest as Ugandans and ensure that this country is safe and secure for our tourists.
Okay, so Ambassador, this is one of the last questions. Tell me, do you have any message for our Ugandans who are in the diaspora? Perhaps, especially the ones in Canada.
Oh, yes.
And now that also World Cup is coming up, and I know Canada is one of the co-hosts of that. It's a big thing. It's
First of all, I know some Ugandans that have already booked in to come and watch the World Cup in Canada.
Wow.
Oh yes, and we will be there.
How can I get a ticket? Ambassador, how can I get a ticket?
Talk to me off camera.
Okay.
But I want to just call on the Ugandan diaspora and Ugandans generally. Let's invest for or within our country. There is nobody who is going to come from out there to come and invest here. And let's stop the negative vibe. It will not help us. This is our country. If you don't have, if you're not living here as a Ugandan, you're living in the diaspora, your relatives are here. And you will also be coming here to visit much of the time because you have your relatives here. And therefore, your investment, you're investing for your motherland and for the country that brought you up. So let's invest in our motherland.
Well, congratulations and well done with this farm trip. I think it was a success story, and I think it's for the best cause. How are you loving your experience so far?
This experience has been fantastic.
Okay.
Being Canadian, you don't hear too much about the individual countries of Africa.
Okay.
As a whole, you hear about Africa, but not much about Uganda specifically. So I was really excited to come and see what Uganda has to offer.
What has been the most standing out experience? To me, it has been the food because I've been with you guys. Have you enjoyed the Ugandan food?
Yes.
What have you liked most?
Yes. I like the most the sauce. It's nuts, and I never tried it before.
G-nuts.
G-nuts, the name.
Yeah.
And it goes with every food. It's even with
amazing pairing, eh?
yes, with bananas, with rice.